Hello everyone, welcome back to another speed draw. This time we're taking a look at Gayle the Gallant. She is one of the gods of my D&D campaign's world. She is the goddess of lightning, war, and victory. Now right off the bat I want to say that we are very zoomed in for this piece just because I drew her very small. This piece is more so focused on the environment around her instead of the actual character herself. But for now, we're going to stay zoomed in so you can see what's going on. So before we get into the lore, I want to talk about a little bit about my inspirations for this character. She's inspired mostly visually by Melania from Elden Ring, but in sort of her stories and her role in the world, she's mostly inspired by Athena from Greek mythology and Thor from Norse mythology. Athena in the way that she's sort of a war goddess that's more about the beautiful aspects of war, like strategy and stuff like that, and Thor in the way that she's the goddess of lightning, but also in that her role in the stories of this world are often involving killing things or defeating monsters and stuff like that. So she has two sort of major stories in the world. The first one is her role in the Draconic Wars. So in this world, dragons were initially the rulers of the world, but the gods fought a war against them to supplant them. The one who did most of the fighting for the gods was Gayle, and it was in those draconic wars that Gayle earned her domains over like the sky, lightning, and war, just because of the effort she put in to earn them. She was rewarded immensely. Now, the second story relates more so to her appearance. She is known to have fought a figure known as the God Butcher, a minion of the Dark Lord who wanted to defile the image of the gods. So symmetry is like a big deal for the gods in this world. Being perfect and symmetrical is sort of like a divine standard. So the God Butcher's goal was to make the gods asymmetrical. And he kind of succeeded but kind of failed and was eventually defeated by Gayle, but she lost one of her wings in the battle. Now we're going to zoom out here, and like I said, this piece was more so focused on the environment around her. So I'm going to start rendering a bunch of clouds around her and lightning. Again, I just wanted to focus more so on the effects she has on the world instead of her herself. I was actually mostly inspired to do this piece by the new Superman movie. There's that one shot like near the end where Superman saves the woman in the car and then she looks back at him. I was very inspired by that shot in this piece. And there are also a few things that are significant in her design in relationship to other gods of this world. First is the sunlight behind her, which is very symbolic of her sort of relationship with the sun goddess of this world, who I can't show here. Now, usually the gods used purely gold as material, like as their definite metal, just because gold sort of represents divinity in this universe. But I wanted to give her bronze armor, not only because it's more practical for war, but also it's more symbolically representative of her and also her brother who made the armor for her. On the topic of her brother, I suppose she actually has a very similar relationship with her brother as Melania does with Mikola in Elden Ring, in that her job was mostly sort of to be a warrior for her brother. And in that regard, she's actually regarded as a failure because the most famous thing her brother ever did in this universe was die. And so to talk about a few aspects of this design more so, I wanted to give her a rapier, whereas like Thor has like a big hammer which represents like thunder and the power of lightning. I wanted to give her a rapier instead, just to sort of represent how she's like pinpoint accurate and like calculated and precise, more so than like just big and hitting things. And the instrument in her other hands I based off clackers, and I imagine that the rapier represents her lightning and the clackers represent her thunder, and then she like clacks them together to make the sound of thunder. And another thing to note with the actual art of the piece itself is I actually based the composition, well, the composition is not complicated, but I based her composition off of the rule of thirds. She's aligned with the right third and the upper third, but I more so based the actual arc of the lightning bolt off of the golden spiral. A little bit. It's not exactly, but I just thought it was really effective, and I'm actually really proud of how the composition came out in this piece. And this piece was actually a lot faster than I usually go, just because of how small the focus of the piece, or just because how small the figure of the piece is. And also, I've already designed this character before, and she didn't really change much. She has a very simple but effective design. And so mostly I was focusing on the clouds and the sunlight and the lightning, which are all things I've practiced before, but I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised with how this came out, just because usually I don't consider myself to be that good with clouds, but this came out very good, so I was very happy with it. So yeah, we should be coming to an end, and this was a very fun piece to work on, and I really liked it. It very much got me back to my roots, because I remember as a kid I used to just draw gods of mythologies all the time. So this was very fun for me to create my own inspired by other mythologies. So yeah, again, that should be it, and I had a lot of fun, and bye.